Her name denotes royalty. Rani Rasika Dindial, yet another undisputed cultural icon who will be honored as a legend of Chutney for this year's Chutney Sokamona competition. When we visited her beautiful home at Kelly Village in Karani, she was most happy to let us know who gave her the name Rani, which translates in English to mean queen.
Well, because of the amount of hits that I have out is one, and the type of songs I do, my manager and my producer happens to give me that name. He say, well, it looked like I deserve that name.
Okay. Who's your manager and producer?
Mahantajit Prem Singh.
However, many great personalities, as we know, come from very humble beginnings, and so too has the Rani. She comes from an amazingly talented and highly acclaimed family, the Dindial family, and it took some time to proudly remember her dad, Mr. Basdeo Lapo Dindial, her main motivator and guru. She also explained that she started off her musical career first with Indian classical singing and afterwards dived headfirst into the Chutney arena.
Well, I came from a talented family. My father was one of the leading legend classical singers in the country. His name was a household name, Basdeo Lapo Dindial. And growing up from childhood, my brother and I, Jairam Dindial, that you know, we are both twins. And
oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, from childhood growing up, we started to fall in love with the classical singing that my father used to sing. From small, we keep hearing him singing classical. So we fall in for more like
so it was actually in your blood.
Singing. Yes.
Yeah.
We happen to fall in love with the classical singing. But as we go along, you have to bend and go with the flow that the people wanted the chutney now. But in the days that we follow up singing, we really follow up and fall in love with the classical because my father was a legend in the classical singing. So we fall in love with the classical singing. But of late when chutney come out, well, we bend with the chutney to entertain the people.
After the passing of her husband 4 years ago, her son, she says, apart from her music, is her love and prime focus. She boasted that her husband, up till his passing, was always very supportive of her career path.
All the time, all the time.
He was very proud.
Yes, anywhere I go, my husband is there with me, all the time.
Okay, because I know you would have toured many countries apart from performing here locally in Trinidad and Tobago. So what was his take on that? Never had any problems?
No. Not a problem at all. I'm safe.
Yes, I know how it is sometimes with a husband and wife. Especially having a wife who's very beautiful, who's very outgoing, talented, always performing here, there and everywhere.
Nah, was never a problem.
Rani Rasika Dindial recorded her first mega hit 15 years ago under the guidance of her manager, friend, advisor and promoter Mr. Ajit Prem Singh. This was a song entitled Ratiya Pusur.
Ratiya Pusur Pusura Bati Aele Dinawa Kaha Gawayona. And then I came back with Gulari Ke Pool, Lazy Man, More Balamolam songs was hits I had.
She says she has lost count of the number of selections that she has done in her life so far, but one of her favorites is Dr. Sampat.
It was Dr. Sampat.
Okay.
Yes, and even Gulari Ke Phool.
Give us a little bit of Dr. Sampat. Just one.
Dr. Sampat ke jaldi bolao na, o zara jagna, penicillin ke injection lagao na, o zara jagna.
She continued that her father was responsible for penning most of her songs, but now she does everything herself: lyrics, melody, and of course, singing.
My father used to write them songs like Dr. Sampat, and some of the songs that I do, the Hindi, he put in it, but unfortunately he's not here anymore. So right now I'm doing everything on my own. Writing the Hindi, some of the songs is book songs, we get it in Hindi book because I read a lot of Hindi too.
Okay.
So I do my own thing for the past 6 years, he's not here.
Excellent. Some singers these days, they can perform, they can sing, they have very good voices, but when it comes to putting lyrics and actually writing a song, they have some difficulty there.
Yeah, no, I don't have no difficulties right now.
She says when performing, she prefers traditional instruments like the harmonium, tantal and tolak in comparison to most of the modern ones around these days.
I always like a harmonium, which we call an organ, a drum and a dantal. That is the traditional way. Now they put the keyboard, we back up with a rhythm machine because of tempo and rhythm.
A lot of trap sets.
Yeah,
So.
but the main thing for traditional singing is the harmonium, the dholak and the dantal, which we highlighted in India when we went, I think is in 2005. The people there didn't know what was a dantal.
Okay.
And they was really surprised to see when we was playing the dantal. So they did appreciate the traditional singing that we do here in this country.
So what about the competitive nature of Rani Rasika Dindial?
Well, I entered the Chutney Monarch with Dr. Vijay Ramlal. I know once I came first in the traditional singing category. That is the ground singing with, as I say, with organ, drum and dantal. I entered the Chutney Soca Monarch in the year 1997 to 98 when I had Lazy Man and Gularike Pool. And I placed second in that competition with that. Yes, and I enter one or two times and think, but right now I don't think the competition is for us anymore. We give
different priorities.
Yes.
The final time she entered the Chutney Soca Monarch competition, though, was back in the year 1999 when she rendered the song They Don't Care.
Nowadays, them man and them, they only drinking rum. They don't care a damn about where anything coming from.
She said like everyone else, she has also been through the happy and sad and good and bad times.
My happiest moment was when I get married.
When you got married?
Yes.
Okay.
And the saddest moment was when my husband passed away.
Apart from India, the Rani has truly represented the red, white and black at many other foreign shows in several countries with resounding successes and fantastic crowd responses.
I remember when I went Texas. Once I was in Texas, that show was, I think the fire service had to come to close down that show. The crowd that it had was so jam-packed. If you look back in times, the kind of shows that we did, even in Toronto, I think Rafi Mohammed did that show too. And the fire service had to come to close down the show. The kind of support, the way the people was doing. Normally, when I walk through a crowd, even in New York, I remember losing pieces of my jewel in my hand, the way the people start to rough you, and the way they start to, So the kind of crowd that we have, the kind of response that we get, I feel appreciated and honored in these places like Texas, in Toronto and Miami. Even in Guyana and Suriname, the kind of crowd that we get is like the crowd that we just get in Skinner Park, even more too.
However, Rani Rasika says she is not impressed with the drastic evolution of traditional chutney music evident these days.
I am not pleased with the way that the music that really swing, the angle that it take. But I don't condemn anybody's song. But what I don't like, what I am upset about is that everything that a person sing, they sing is a chutney or a chutney soca. I think the people need to know what is chutney. For you to sing a chutney, you have to know what is a chutney. And I don't think they know what is chutney.
Which brings us to another burning question as well. What really is a chutney? And what are some of the critical elements that you need to have in a song for it to be classified as a chutney?
One, a chutney song really supposed to be 100% Hindi. right? It's supposed to have a chutney beat, a hot chutney beat, because chutney is something peppery, right? And we want the beat like that so people could dance. That is chutney. You use a dholak and a dantal, harmonium. Now they're using keyboard, they're using all kind of thing. This is the way we identify a chutney. But now they're using a kind of just like if you listen to the radio stations what they're playing, a song will come on just so and they have a beat like this. Akalalanga, kalalanga, kalalanga, and that is a chutney. Dum 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 dum. That is a chutney. Imagine I hear songs playing on the radio station. They don't even have a Hindi word in it. They don't even have a chutney beat. How that is a chutney? That could never be chutney. That is why I will always say, from the first time I started recording with Mr. Ajit Prem Singh, I maintain a standard. Although I sing one or two English songs, any priest could listen to it. Any child could listen to it. Anybody could listen to it. I maintain a standard in singing chutney. And I have a chutney beat, or even if you put a slower beat, a kalinda beat, or a chaubola bharti beat, whatever, we maintain a standard. But today, when I started this program this evening here, I mentioned I was going to sing a classical song, right? And I sit down with the harmonium and sing it. And I named the song was a tumri I sing, right? Now, if I sit down with a organ, a drum, and a dantal, and I sing in a tumri, could I say that is a chutney? A tumri is a tumri. You can't say it's a chutney. But what these singers and them fail to realize, I have no problem with what they're singing, but I think they need to get a name for what they're singing. They're damaging chutney. I think chutney belongs to we, So they had to leave it for we. We could handle that. Who can handle it? Leave it alone.
She sought to offer some words of advice and wisdom to young artists today.
They need to take a little pattern and kind of follow my footstep or others. The Rasa Legends' footstep in the way we really carry about, yourself and the way you sing and bring out chutney singing. I think about that long time, many years. I was even telling Mr. George Singh that I think the youths need to wake up a little bit. I learned that very well. My recipe to success for me is to maintain a standard. Maintain a standard, don't bend. I mean, from classical, I go with the flow and bend. But with a standard, with a certain level. Chutney music is not a bad music. Chutney singing is not bad, is what you sing, right? So I maintain a standard, and I think that is myself, and I will continue to maintain that standard.
And that's some advice that you would also give to the young, aspiring ones.
Yes, I think the songs, even self, you have children and you have to play these kind of songs. Full stop.
In conclusion, the Rani expressed her gratitude to Southex Promotions and Win Communications for recognizing her as one of the legends of chutney music.
I feel appreciated and honored to be recognized by Southex Promotion. I want to thank Mr. Judge Singh very much for recognizing the backbone of chutney in this country. I want to thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Win Communications, Mr. Mohan Jaikara and all the staff and members for giving me the opportunity to be on Win TV today, and together with members of my family, Mr. Ajit Prem Singh, everybody is here. I want to thank you very much and a warm welcome in my home once again.
Her promoter and many of her family members present took the opportunity to congratulate her on this milestone achievement. First came her manager and promoter, Mr. Ajit Prem Singh.
I'd like to congratulate Rani again, and her family support her 100%.
We can see that.
Yeah, they support her 100%, and and it's something that once your family is behind you,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
That's all that you need.
Yeah.
Then came her most lovely mom, Dhanraji Dindial, who additionally told us about the childhood of the Rani.
She was always a good child. She was always hardworking. She didn't like too much in the kitchen.
Her elder sister, Linda Callant, was also present.
Yes, congratulations to the Rani and best wishes, and she always number one.
Her choti behin, or little sister, veteran chutney singer Himlacha Dindial, was next.
And I say to the Rani, she deserved that. She's my sister, and she deserved a position like this.
And of course, the future superstars of the Dindial family, her 18-year-old son Varesh.
I think she deserves that.
You think it's been long coming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her nephews Vashish and Ravin and niece Pooja. However, Pooja stole the spotlight as she dedicated one of the songs of her mom Himlata Dindial to the Rani, Rasika Dindial.
पढ़ाई करे आशा पढ़ाई करे आशा पढ़ाई करे आशा पढ़ाई करे आशा चारों बलमा पढ़ाई करे आशा चारों बलमा पढ़ाई करे आशा.
Oh gosh, let's give a big round of applause. And for those of you looking on, that's the daughter of Himlata Dindial. So you can tell that this is going to be certainly lots of generations of talent coming down from the Dindial family, starting from the late great Lapa Dindial, his Dharam Patni, to the 5 children, all involved in the music, in Chutney music.
A beautiful woman inside out, with a beautiful family, honored this year as one of the living legends of Chutney music in Trinidad and Tobago, the Rani, Rasika Dindial.
राम तेरी महिमा या परम पार गोविंद तेरी महिमा या परम पार घुमाए गए घुमाए गए घुमाए गए रे घुमाए गए घुमाए गए घुमाए गए रे नैना वाले आहा नैना वाले गुलारी के फूल रामा गुलारी के फूल गुलारी के फूल रामा गुलारी के फूल खेतवा में झूले होला हरिया बलम होई गुलारी के फूल खेतवा में झूले होला हरिया बलम होई गुलारी के फूल. Them man and them so lazy they don't want to walk. Them man and them so lazy they don't want to walk. They only want to sit down in the hammock and rock. They only want to sit down in the hammock and rock. Them man and them so lazy, they don't want to walk. Aha gawayo na. Buje dilawa puwa, buje dilawa. Buje dilawa, maya buje dilawa. Buje dilawa puwa, buje dilawa. Like the fire, the pot, in the chulha puwa, buje dilawa. Dobia dobinia ke mar mar mar. Dobia dobinia ke mar mar mar. Hai Ram, Dobia Dobinia ke mar. Hai Ram, Dobia Dobinia, Dobia Dobinia, Dobia Dobinia ke mar. I go in a matical to see them ladies fat. I go in a matical to see them ladies fat. They go fat for so, they go can't catch their breath. They go fat for so, they go can't catch their breath. So I go in a matical to see them ladies fat. Matikul night is for ladies to get away. Matikul night is for ladies to get away. They don't really care what anybody say. They don't really care what anybody say.
I'm Shirvani Sukhai for WinTV and WinTVWorld.com.